Good. Right, we've got one person. I don't know if that's just me because by virtue of being on here. Today, I've been doing a lot of pentatonic stuff. Hopefully, you've seen a lot of the pentatonic stuff that I've been doing. And part of the pentatonic is that you might think that it's just a scale in itself, and you know that's primarily what it gets used for. But what generally happens if you think about a diatonic scale, like a major scale, then we can pull chords out of that. But the pentatonic, you wouldn't think that you could do that sort of thing. It's not a common sort of sound that you generally tend to get. But I thought I'd do this lesson today to show you that there are chords. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call these pseudo quartile chords. Yeah, so instead of what quartile chords are, instead of stacking up in thirds, the chords stack up in fourths. Now, the very nature of the fretboard means that perfect fourths are the natural way for things to stack. But because of the tuning between the G and the B and the way that we have to compensate with one fret, then we're kind of not thinking of it in that way. But these chords, they go with your pentatonic. Now, what kind of use might you want? There's people like Robin Ford. It might be a bit jazzy, but the thing is, it still works in a sort of conventional blues sense, and it can also give you something to comp over. So, say you want to get your funk on, you want to do a funky thing, then you might want to use these chords as well. They're super useful, but one of the reasons, and here's the usual obligatory handout. One of the useful things about this is it helps to reinforce what your box patterns look like. And you can see here, this one here is a repeat. Hang on, let me just turn that down. This one and this one are the same. So you can see there are 5 chord shapes, and that would make sense because it's the pentatonic. And so that there would be five shapes, just like if you had a major key, there would be 7 chords that you would play, shapes that you would play for a key. So essentially, these lovely little things, they sound amazing. I think they sound absolutely awesome, but they draw off your pentatonic boxes. If you haven't seen the videos that I've done about the pentatonic boxes, I've done some no nonsense, just the scale, how to play it, put it together. That's somewhere. I'll put it on a card up there. Right, but let's crack on with this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate it with the much beloved box 1. Somebody commented as well on one before. I'm not alone. That's good to know. So here's the thing that I'm going to show you. Right, and this is a bit of a no-brainer as well. It gives you these chords, and you can play them and know that you are in A minor. You can use fragments of these chords. You can use the patterns in so many different ways. It's a really useful idea. So if I just pull this in here, point that down there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to play A minor pentatonic. So this is my 5th fret here that I'm at. So the 5th fret there, right? Okay, so I'll put this on here. So I'm playing 5/8 on my thick E string, 5/7, 5/7 on my D string, 5/7 on my G string, 5/8 on my B string, 5/8 on my thin E string. Now what I'm doing, that way of walking through the notes is the way that we understand the scale. But the thing to understand is that chords come from scales. Scales provide the ingredients for chords. And I often think of chords as being like a cake. You know, you've got different layers and they add up to what the cake is. And the same thing's going to apply here with the pentatonic. So if we look at that, the main action really happens on the 5th fret. And if you remember from the pentatonic, the minor pentatonic, the notes that you would play with your first finger would all be at the 5th fret. So what we can do is we can take them from the D string. I find that this is the best one because this here, from the D string to the G string, we get a 4th sound there. Yeah, this is a 3rd, and then we revert back to a 4th here, which is why I'm calling them pseudo 4th chords. Me bonnet has just gone out there. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little shape here as a chord. That's the first shape, and that's using the lower notes of that minor pentatonic scale. So 2 notes per string, yeah, that there will be something that I can use. Now I can funk that up. I can use it in a lot of different ways. So the idea behind this is putting some chords in with your scales is to provide an alternative texture, an alternative top feeling and a different vibe, so that you're not just playing up and down that pentatonic, mindlessly. But this way you get to do something with something that you already know. Yeah, so if this is the lower note in the pentatonic, the upper note, if I take the upper note, you got that 8, 8, 7, 7. I put that together, what I get is this lovely 6/9 chord. Now that's got a really nice distinct sound. Sounds quite jazzy. Now if I play it like, I find it's easy to, you can play it like that, you can play it like that, it's completely up to you. And you can play fragments of it, but this, if we take that there, I prefer to just bar across these 2 strings here on the D and the G string, and bar across here on the B and the thin E string here. So we get that there. Good evening, Richard. So just switching between those 2 there, just to outline those 2 notes that are in that scale. You can hear that I get that sound. Now the next pattern, if I go up in my next pattern, and I'm thinking of this as being the box 2 pattern, which is the same as your major pentatonic scale. And a little tip, if you want to be able to identify the major pentatonic, it's My Girl. It's a little kind of tip to help you to know that is it the major pentatonic that you're hearing. Then if it's that, then it is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm only looking at this on the 4 strings here, on the D, the G, the B, and the E string. So you can see I've got this pattern here. That is my lower shape, that from that box pattern. So I'm thinking of that as my lower shape. But then I have this note here. So I end up with this shape here, and then I could add this here. And it looks like a funky 9th chord. If you're in a band and you do that thing where you jam on A or jam on E. Yeah. These are the little chords that you can add there. And it's just sliding into it gives it a little bit more flavor. So there you can see we've got three chords. There's the first one, and we can think of those as living inside that box 1 of the minor pentatonic. Here's box 2. We get them 2 shapes there. And it's a lovely, nice, bright, shimmery chord. Now, you wouldn't ordinarily think it was A minor, based around the A minor. In fact, an alternate way to play an A minor would be to play this open A string. You may have even heard that in Foo Fighters. I think it's the Pretender. I think it goes something like that. Anyway, but this is a nice way to play an A minor. It's actually a C shape. Yeah. So, but we add that little shape there, and then add that extra note there. Now, don't worry about remembering all these. I will upload the PDF like I always do. PDF will be in the description. I'm going to have to scan it and then email it myself, and then do all the nonsense and stick it in the description there. So the next pattern we go, this is going to be, so we've got box 1, box 2, box 3 now. Now what happens here is we get this 12, 12, 13, and we get the 12 again. Now this, I find the easiest way to play this is to bar at the 12th fret across the D and the G string, put the 3rd finger on, and it's almost like you're playing a D chord, it's almost like you're playing a D shape, but what you do is instead of having your index finger there, you extend it onto the D string itself and bar across. So you're forming this mini bar here. So there we go. So the shapes so far, the first shape, this is based on the bottom of the box 1 of the minor pentatonic, bottom of box 2, bottom of box 3, bottom of box 4. Now this, I use them all the time as little handy navigation tools. They're just little landmarks that you're looking out for. Yeah. So you can hear those shapes, those there. And they're just signposts, and they're really great little aid to help you with that. Now, the last one is, if we look at this box pattern here, this is the 5th box pattern, box pattern 4, box pattern 1, box pattern 2, box pattern 3, box pattern 4. We go 12, 15, 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 13, 15, 12, 15. And that ends up spelling this little shape here, this 6/9 chord, which is the same, coincidentally, if we play it down here, using that 1st finger, barring on the 2nd fret, D string to G string there, and the 3rd finger is barring on the G there. And I'm playing the box pattern itself. And you can hear that how that would be really super useful if you wanted to put some chords in there. Can't see that one. I'm going to zoom back out again. Zooming out. So back out again. And I can play that there, but the open strings don't sound that great. Probably better just playing it with my fingers. You won't come across these chords generally. But ladies and gents, those be the pentatonic chords. Hopefully that makes sense. This diagram, this PDF will be in there for you to be able to translate what I'm talking about here. So like I said, these are your 5 pentatonic boxes all joined together. It's quite confusing when you look at it as one thing, but if you follow this highlighted green pattern here, then you should be able to see the shapes and go through this. Follow what I've shown you. Make sure you play what I've shown you as well, guys. Do all the usual nonsense. Please hit that like, subscribe, and yeah, and all that nonsense. And I will see you again soon for another lesson, and we will do some more stuff. I have, if you do subscribe, I've got another lesson coming for you, and as well as it's called the pentatonic scale. 99% of guitarists haven't heard of. If you're intrigued with that, then I would love to see you in the comments in the next broadcast that I do, guys. And I'll be banging some more videos up soon. So I will see you again. Take care. Remember, pick it up. It's your friend. It's your friend. It does your soul good. I will see you next time. Take care.